Breaking it down in layman's terms. Putting it in layman's terms.
Breaking it down in layman's terms today, I've got another great guest. We got a repeat offender. We got the Deej, the sales energizer. You already know it's Jourdan. Dan, welcome in layman's terms.
Well, it's great to be here. I always find it funny how people like amp up their natural volume whenever I come on a podcast. It's like if you're trying to match the Deej with energy, it's a losing venture. I'll tell you that right now. Awesome to be here, Doug Lehman. I love the new background. You're just setting the bar ever higher.
Well, we appreciate that. And let's put you on the full screen, full attention, because you are the guest. Now, Dan, I've known you for like, a decade and some change. Am I right with that?
Yeah. And who knows how long you've been dreaming about me. I mean, it could be forever.
All right. So nightmares, dreams, whatever the case is. But today we're going to focus on some projects you're working on right now. Now, we're going to close it out with the Sales Energizer, the training programs, the books that you've done, and how you give back to the community, yada, yada, yada. But today I really want to focus in on that old sales guy, blue-haired, gray collar, whatever the case is. Let's break that down for me. What you're working on right now, because I see a lot of video content about it.
It's gray hair, blue collar. Here, that's what gray hair, blue collar sales. That's what's going. Not blue hair.
Well, I know,
Here's the deal. In all seriousness, one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, "There's my dad," and I love being old. I mean, it's the greatest thing. You could tell girls that they're pretty without them thinking you're hitting on them. I mean, it's like you can get away with nearly anything. You can say stuff, but really selling like an old guy is much easier, but you can't use the same stuff that you used when you were 26 because you sound like a creep. And what I realized in my life of my volunteer thing has always been helping people get jobs, how to sell yourself on the next interview. And man, I've seen guys, top-notch sales pros, like selling IT services and things like that, 52 years old, they get laid off for whatever reason. Man, in this world, you get laid off at 52 as a man, you may never work again.
Oh, I can totally relate to that because we're in the same age bracket, and you got to go with the flow and adjust what works for you. But you touched on, and you're going to get to it, some of the secret weapons, the expertise that you have when you're a seasoned salesperson. I don't like using the word old. I prefer seasoned, but I don't want to rebrand your whole thought process. So you talked about where experience is your greatest asset, and it's on the website.
I don't like the word seasoning because that's what you put like on food, on steak. Here's the thing. In this world right now, and to sell this way, you need to be authentic in every way. So whatever you are, be that. I mean, the most horrific looking thing is somebody who's 60 trying to act like they're 30, and you just look inauthentic and unreal. Imagine tossing away all your experiences, all your life's choices. I mean, you're a dad, you're a homeowner, you've gone through problems, you've helped your parents in their final day, you've done all these things, and you're going to piss all that away and pretend like you're 35 years old again, not knowing anything. You look like a fool, and you're throwing away all those assets that you've accumulated just by getting older. It's the best thing ever. But you're right. People do that and they start faking themselves out, and you get depressed because the truth is that you're not seasoned,
Okay. All right. I'll push back.
Old isn't bad. Listen, you could either become old or you can grow old. And when you grow old, you keep on growing, and it's good. That means you've gained some wisdom. So don't throw it away.
Okay.
But you have to direct yourself to where you're wanted now. And that's just not the corporate world.
Yeah. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're just tolerated. But there's one thing I'm going to say too, with seasoned, older, whatever vernacular you want to use today. yeah, whatever the case is, you bring those experiences. But you said something earlier about you want to be authentic. You're not trying to fake the funk and be somebody that you're not 30 years younger. You got to
Yeah,
be
I
your
mean, why would you want to? Why? I mean, think of all the idiotic things you did back then. You don't want to be that, And then a lot of times you're interviewing with people like that. And listen, I've seen guys really get depressed. A lot of people lose their marriages, fall apart when they lose a job. I've seen two people end their lives just through depression, just of losing their job. It's not a small thing. And being inauthentic in the workplace is one thing, but to be inauthentic in yourself, to try to fool yourself, that doesn't that never ends well. In the sales world, a lot of times, and a lot of people have practiced the Sandler sales method and things like that, where people talk about finding the pain. And you find the pain and you dig into the pain. Now, how does that make you feel? And all that stuff. And what do you think will happen if that happens? And so you're just stuck in the pain. But it's the goal isn't really to find the pain as a noun. The goal is to find the truth and put people in the truth that this is your exact situation right now. And then instead of finding the pain, the person feels the pain of being in the situation they're in right now. And only when you're in that kind of emotional state are you willing to make a life-changing, change, a life-altering change, to purchase something or to do something new, to make that move. And so having a little age on you gives you, I don't know, the credibility to ask those penetrating questions
no,
that
yeah,
you wouldn't give to somebody younger.
yeah, and I agree totally. Having that age, that wisdom, that expertise, being authentic to who you are. So I'm trying to recap everything you said because I'm aging through your
Well,
answers.
good luck, because
Well,
I'm making it up as I go along.
well, I can sense that. So we got to keep it moving. You're honing into the workshops and everything. You're putting out a lot of video content, and you're really working in the home service sales area. Speak to that industry and why that speaks to people that are 50 plus.
Yeah. Thanks for asking that. Yeah, no, that's where you're wanted right now. That's where a guy with gray hair is really wanted. And the reason is the smarter companies in the home service sales, and by home service sales, I mean anything that has to do with purchases for the home, a new kitchen, a new bathroom, a roofing, painting, siding, outdoor kitchens, foundation, waterproofing, garages, basements, driveways, anything that has to have, windows, things you've changed. I know people selling windows making I saw one guy making $800,000 a year, but the average for anybody in that industry is about 160 grand, working a a decent hours, staying home, being home on weekends and all that stuff. It's a good life for somebody, and it's where they want you. Because just think about it, when somebody comes into your house to sell windows or to talk about windows and things, they're coming from a position where you're most likely a homeowner or have been. You most likely have had this situation where you'd have to do this stuff. You have instant credibility, and you speak from a level from education as opposed to hard driving sales. Big proponent for this industry right now for men 50 and older.
Well, men are, and I would say women as well, but you speak from that expertise because you're relatable. You're relatable because you can identify with your clients. Now, this could be B2B or B2C because you talked about home service repair, and I know you're doing a few projects with that right now. And it comes down to being authentic and being who you are.
Yeah, it could be B2B because you do some commercial type of work, but really the main thrust of it is homeowners, and it's B2C. And so, and because that's where you can have really the one-on-one conversation. See, the challenge that's happened in the corporate world, and the corporate world really is, anything where private equity has taken a hold or they sold it to the public. Because what happens is you have a decent, fairly good size, 10, 20, $30 million roofing company that does really well, and it's kind of like a family opportunity, and they sell roofing. But when private equity comes in, and private equity, the goal of private equity is to do a couple of roll-ups and grab a bunch of roofing companies and build it to an area where they can take it public and everybody has their payday. But at that point, when private equity takes over, they no longer are in the roofing business. Now they're in the money-making business. And so, everything changes. That environment changes. Well, the corporate world's been like that forever. So when you're a young guy, when you got to make your money and get out there in the world, baby, go after it. Work a gazillion hours, travel all over the place, sow your wild oats, do all that stuff. But somebody, a little older is just not going to do all that garbage. Their values change. The importance of things change. So you're no longer wanted in that corporate world. So not only is the home service world a good place for you to go to have that kind of family environment where people run. I had a guy, I'm doing waterproofing and foundations. I had a lead that they needed a change order or something, whatever. I had another guy from the office go do it, make the sale, and give it to me, because it was closer to his house. Like, that type of stuff just happens when you're in that type of environment. And you do that stuff for other people. And that's why that industry wants you. So where you're literally not wanted, and you're trying to push your way into a place that doesn't want you, here you have another industry that says, come on board and make us better. I'm on a roll now, so cut off for a second. So here's the thing: when you're going for a job interview, everybody's taught that I want to say what I need to say to make sure that I'm a good fit. Well, the person on the other side that's interviewing you, they know all the warts of their company. They know what a horrific experience it is on the onboarding side. They know that the work's not getting done right. Like, they know that their company in certain areas kind of stinks. They don't want somebody who's going to fit into that environment. They want someone that's going to make them better. Mm-hmm. They want you, and that comes from not your skill, but your soft skills, your ability to inspire, your ability to quickly see problems in process and be able to give advice without, there's a difference between knowing it all and being a know-it-all. And someone with a little age on themselves knows how to handle that situation where others wouldn't.
It comes with experience and wisdom, and you go where you're celebrated, not just tolerated. All these things come into play. And I love you focus in on what you know, but more importantly, the clients or the customers in this case, you're relatable. And there's one thing I want to put out, because this speaks to me in a lot of ways, because with ageism and the jobs seeking and everything else. Don't get it twisted out there. It's not like because you're older and you have all this experience and you're looking in a different area, you still bring a lot of technology and skills to what you do. This man here does a lot with video. And I just want to hone in a little bit on that, if you don't mind, talking about a general sales call, because you just don't go out, knock on their door. You do, you get the lead, but you use a lot of technology, a lot of video content. And I just want you to kind of walk me through that process. As you see, I'm going to put up the video camera lens, and let's spotlight how you are using nuanced technology for an older sales guy. Talk on that.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing. Everything's still the same in terms of how businesses run. It's the 3 M's. There's your marketplace, which is who you're giving your message to. There's the message, there's the marketplace, and then there's the media. And the media is just the delivery system of that message to the marketplace. And so the only thing that we're really changing here, we're delivering the right message, we're delivering it to the right person, but now with all this technology, we're able to deliver it in a way that's easy to consume for the customer or prospect, how it may be. So my medium of choice right now is video, and it's for a couple reasons. The first is probably the most important, because with all the AI that's happening out there, there's a lot of fakeness, and you got to be authentic and you got to be believable. be memorable and believable. And there's no easier way to do it right now than I'm looking for my phone. Here we go. Just on your phone. So instead of doing a confirmation text, you could just as easily, hit that little button there, press video, put it on yourself like that, and just make a video. Hey, I look forward to seeing you. I'll be there in a couple of minutes. And I just want to put a face with the voice. Hope everything's well, checking that we're still on track. Boom. And then just text it to them. It takes the same amount of time, but you're much less frightening when you come to the door and they actually know who to expect and you're right there. So that's just a quick and easy one that everyone should do to confirm appointments for sure.
Now you implement this on all different parts of, I want to say, the sales cycle or the customer journey. You're doing it pre the meeting, and then obviously I know after the meeting has happened, you're going to follow up immediately with some form of personalization. Am I right?
Oh my gosh. I'll follow up. I'll send them, on interviews, everybody knows send a thank you card. And some people would say send a thank you. I send a thank you for the meeting when I'm in their driveway. I mean, I haven't left the house yet. I'll just in their driveway, and they always respond, favorably to that. One of the other things about, I guess, being a little older to do this and why it fits older people is because you look goofy when you do this. You look a little bit like a fool, but everybody goes through this point. It's like, you really try. And then one day you just don't care anymore.
Well, I find you the type of person, the type of person that doesn't really give a flip. I mean, you've been around the block, So
you look like a fool when you're doing that thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you remember me. I want them to laugh at it and go, check this out. Look at this guy. And you know what I call that? Free advertising.
Yeah, it's free advertising, but it's also personalization, but you're also making an impact. You're that guy. You're that dude.
Well, yeah, listen, so that's the thing. In this world, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
It's who knows you, but who knows you now. And that's the relevancy of doing a video. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, is that all you're saying? Are you saying
I'm saying a lot more? I'm trying here.
Okay.
Between the stories, but more importantly, I get the hustle. I get the idea. You go where you're celebrated, not just tolerated. You're hitting a target market that fits you, that fits your audience, but you're also leveraging the video, which I think is really key because you're separating yourself.
And then also probably a good one that really everybody can do. It's after the appointment when maybe you're sending a proposal or you want to follow up with a more memorable thing for them so they can, really look at the proposal and things like that, is to use ChatGPT or Grok or any of those learning models and basically speak into it, with the microphone, everything that happened on the appointment, and just say, turn this into a proposal email where I'm reattaching the proposal to this email. We talked about this, and this. Put the solution in bullet points, make it friendly and professional and as short as possible. And press go. And so it makes a beautiful email for you. And once you do it a few times, it kind of knows your voice. And so it speaks in your voice, but very quickly. And that plus the proposal plus a video, I mean, you stand out like a lemon in a potato field.
No, but what I love about what you're saying here, and I keep going back to this, I'm trying to drive this point home. I'm trying to drive this point home. You may be older in sales. I'm going to say seasoned again, but you're embracing the nuance technology, the AI for its realness, for its efficiency. You're leveraging the video for so you're, just because you're older doesn't mean you teach an old dog new tricks. You're still learning things.
My phone before this had an antenna. I mean, all it takes to change to get into the modern world is to press a couple of buttons. It's like, it's not crazy. You just listen, people got to continually learn. It all depends, what you're surrounding yourself with. Instead of just, scrolling through Instagram or YouTube or whatever you do, follow the plan. Don't use social media. Use social media. Don't let it use you. So don't just use it for entertainment. That's what the consumers do. That's what civilians do. You want to use it for learning. And so, spend an hour a day and work on yourself. Listen, there's only 2 rules to success in life. All right. Know what you want and then work on yourself. You got to focus on what you want and then you work on yourself. And the people that need your services and need you and need your skills will be attracted to that.
Okay. On that, you talk about the people that need your services, need your skills, will be attracted to that.
All this stuff is in the book.
I'm trying. I can't believe a guy from Jersey's interrupting me every time I'm trying to make my point. I'm setting it up. I'm trying to set up the book. No, go ahead. It's all in the book. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. No, go ahead. Believe me. If people, I'm glad you said it was from New Jersey. People in New Jersey are just, mean in a nice way. I tell you a quick story. I went home to my 30-year high school reunion. It was 30 years. I didn't see this guy, Michael Bucksbaum, in 30 years. And he calls me. Is it going to take 30 years to tell this story? No, well, I told it a couple times before. But anyway, he calls me over and he says, "Hey," he says, "Deej, come here." And I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "You know who's asking about you?" I said, "Who?" He says, "Nobody." And I talk to a lot of people. So people in New Jersey are just mean. We're going to interrupt you.
Well, anyway, and I love it because it's the passion coming out. We talked a little bit about where you get in, where you fit in. Let's talk a little bit about helping people by training. You've got the book. Hold the book up one more time. It's on Amazon. Can you plug the book one more time? All right.
Gray hair, blue collar sales. What does it say? For men over 50 who still have gas left in the tank.
And it's gray hair, not blue hair. Okay, we'll get that distinction out there. Now the next thing is you're actually working on, and we're gonna get into some of the video content, but you're actually working on a training program for this as well. Can you elaborate?
I'm going to build a community. I'm just, I guess now that I'm saying it here on layman's terms, now it has to come to fruition. But yeah, I'm going to put together a school community and we're going to get people jobs and hired and we're going to save lives. I mean, I'm not letting any quality human being slip through the cracks. This industry wants you. They need you. You can earn a good living. Just think of this. Imagine you're a sales guy out there, right? Okay. No cold calling, no nothing. It's an all commission job. They give you a car. They give you gas. They give you leads and they give you commission when you make a sale. What more could you want? And you're going to people that have called in saying, "Hey, I want this stuff." And you just got to go and offer, give education and offer solutions. I still do some consulting on the side, and I'm working with a company who told me that, we're putting a lot more stuff out there, but they're getting much fewer people go to their website through Google. Instead, they're going to ChatGPT or Grok or what have you. And it is directing you towards the things that you want to know most. So my company that I'm working with, we made sure that we put a price calculator on their website because a lot of times this is a hardwood flooring company. So a lot of times people are going, "How much does it cost to put in hardwood floors in my house?" And so ChatGPT is going to the companies that have that price calculator on there. And so they're not going to just a regular old Google now. And by the way, even regular old Google is now, being powered by Gemini. And so that's an AI model too. And so it's very important for you to put out there social media wise or anything. If you're running a business, about things that customers are asking for very specifically. And by the way, for the reason why companies want older salespeople too, is you older salespeople, if you have captured, think of all the people that you know, if you maintain all those people that you know in a CRM or something like that, the main goal is to get self-generated leads. Once you can prove to them that you're able to self-generate a bunch of leads, you really have the pick of the litter of any company you want to work with and how you want to work with them. Part-time.
So you're a continuous learner. You're embracing technology, whether it's AI, whether it's video. The proof is in the pudding, and you're leveraging that just to get in front of your customers to be that informed, experienced sales guy and advocate. How about that?
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna learn in the community, in the school community that I've yet to put out, but I will get it out there.
Well, you'll get it out there because, one thing about the Deej, the sales energizer, if you go to his LinkedIn profile, you seem to you're still continuing to do these videos every couple of days. You get out there, and is that something that you enjoy doing? Or walk me through that, because you're always jumping up and down, hands in the air. It's the Deej. We get it. The motivation in you. That's the energizer, right? Is that your calling?
Well, I don't know what my calling is. I'm a dad, just like anybody, like many people out there, and your children kind of they don't watch nearly what you say as much as what you do, and I'm always just thinking, people think I'm a naturally optimistic person, and I guess so. That's it. But it's not like I don't work at it. And so
I'm not making fun of the context of the videos. I'm just thinking about in the mindset of why you do them, and you do them well.
Well, I do them. I do them ultimately for me, because I'm the type of person as high as I can get, and as rock and roll as I'm ready to go, man, I can get that low also, and so I keep busy because, man, if you want to find the devil, just look at the white spaces in my calendar. I'll find something there. I don't drink or do drugs, not because I'm so against it, whatever. It's because I know I'd love it.
Like, I know be another addiction, a time gap. And one thing about you do a lot with your time, your family, and everything, whether it's the sales energizer, Jourdan.com, you've got the gray hair, blue collar sales program that you're doing, that you're really fired about, which we spent most of our time talking about. Yeah. And then one thing you do is speaking, Toastmasters, and you do a lot with, people that are in transition, which is kind of near and dear to my heart. You're helping people out, and everybody's a salesperson at different levels, at different ages, and different experience.
Yeah, that's my volunteer thing, and I do that. It's every other week at a local place here, but at Roswell United Methodist Church, but they have 100 or so people that'll be there every week, or every other week, looking for work, and really, I help people work on themselves and realize, the whole thing, everything's available for you. I mean, everything's there right now. Imagine going back, into 1950s and telling somebody, hey, listen, little traveling salesman, you don't have to hop on the train anymore. You don't have to do any of that. You could make a video, and it can go out, get this, not like to Chicago, not to St. Louis, to 7 people in the dry cleaners in St. Louis. It can go out to the world. Like, we can go out to the world. Oh, how much does it cost? Oh, it's free. It's free. I don't have to buy a train. It's free. Can you imagine telling this guy he'd think you were a nutcase? And then you tell him, yeah, it's free, but I'm not really doing it. You're not doing it. It's free. It goes out to the world, and you're not doing it. Are you out your mind? So here's the thing that I learned, that I try to get people away from. Everybody thinks that you can sell something if you make it easy for them. Oh, if I make it easy for you to get clients, I make it easy for you to make this. There is nothing too easy for people not to do it.
Right.
You could just easily not to do it. So the change has to happen internally. You have to really, and it goes back to what I said earlier, find the truth of the situation where you are right now. And if you stay the same, think of the pain that you're in the truth of your situation. You know, what'll happen if I can't afford? Will I really be out on the street? No, but I'm going to move in with my mom. I can't believe my wife's going to leave me. All this, once you get to that point, and then you have to ask yourself the question, or somebody asks you the question, how much longer can you live like this in that pain? And when the person says not another day, that's when real change can happen. And in the job seeking world, if I can get people to look in the mirror and say, you know what, that's why it's not working, then they're able to take the change. And then 2 weeks later, they can have a job. I mean, that's all. 2 weeks later, as soon as you're not afraid to knock on a door, that your life is worth more than the embarrassment of knocking on the door and somebody saying, I'm not interested. As soon as you get to that point, everything's possible.
It's almost like you got to be at that level when change needs to be made. You got to feel the pain. Goes back to
right. But people will say I'm getting philosophical here, but people will always say, I'm afraid of the unknown. Maybe, but there's so much easily known. Like, you could know exactly what your bank balance is right now, like to the penny, but you probably don't, because you're scared to look at it, because you really don't want to know, what it is. And there are so many things. You say, how do I get a new job? You could find out if you want to. You really don't want to know, because you realize it's going to involve you being uncomfortable for like 6 weeks, really uncomfortable. So you know how to do it.
Yeah, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and then making that change is something you got to do. Hey, I want to take a little bit more of a segment here, because we're going to start wrapping up. It's more of a rapid fire segment.
Segments. What I was thinking? I was talking to a guy this morning. I go to breakfast with another old guy, and we solve all the world's problems. And we got on the topic of God and things like that. And so I'm, like looking for things that, God can create. And I came up with an orange. How cool is an orange? I mean, it's like delicious, but it comes in its own package. It's got its own wrapper on it already there, with the skin and everything. And then you open it up, and it's like divvied up in little bite-sized sections, like made for you. How could that have just happened? It's like so perfect. Anyway, so you said the word section.
Yeah,
so that's
I said segment, and you talked about oranges and produce, and I understand
segments,
that.
Yeah, so it's
segments. I don't know, but relatability to an orange, because let's think about it. You eat an orange and you get the fiber in an orange. If you take 10 oranges and you put it in a juicer, you're not getting the nutritional value of that. And that takes a lot more time to juice an orange than it does to just peel an orange and eat it. And speaking of time, and that's where I'm going with this, because there's a segue here. There's a method to this.
Oh, okay.
Eating an orange is faster than juicing an orange. Okay. The same thing, you get the fiber thing. So right now, in segments, I want to try to wrap everything we comprise in. I ask you a question and you give me a response, and if you can keep it under the 30 seconds, that'd be great. So this is going to be like our parting shots. So can you are you up for the challenge? Can you tell your response to 30 seconds or less?
See.
All right, you ready, Mr. Energizer? You ready? All right. The book. What's it all about? Boom.
Book? Oh, listen, it's for men over 50 who still have gas in the tank, that want to make a difference in the world and in other people's lives. You go.
Why would an older person up in their 50s or later, want to get into home service sales?
It's a great lifestyle where you earn 120 grand a year, and it's a great lifestyle without pressure. And you could drive by places where you've done work and say, I've improved that. That would not have happened if it were not for me. And there comes a time in life when you need to not only earn money, but feel relevant. And this is the way to do it.
Speaking of being relevant, when you're an older salesperson, there are stereotypes. So let's talk a little bit about education, learning, and technology. How would you implement that for somebody as a seasoned sales rep, like the AI, the video stuff? I just teed it up for you.
Oh, okay. Well, we talked about a couple of things there, but what I would always suggest with any technology, take one at a time. And I'm a big proponent of work in early morning. Listen, when you get a little older, you need less sleep. Get up an hour earlier, spend an hour to work on yourself, and part of that can be learning a new technology. Listen, 15 minutes a day will get you 99% there in a month.
Let's talk about how are you positioning video in the sales process?
I use video in one way that I showed you about the initial contact and then kind of the thank you letter. But if you're in home service sales, a lot of times not everybody in charge. I work with real estate agents, so they have to relay the information to their buyer or seller. And so instead of expecting that person to relay it properly, what I'll do is I'll make a video on the job. I'll give my phone to the prospect and I say, you be the cameraman, and I'll explain the whole process right there in a minute or two. And then that goes along with the proposal a little later. And this way there's no question on what's going on there, that I know that one spouse is relaying it perfectly to the other one because it's me saying it.
You're not a shortage for words and the gift of gab. What type of topics do you like to keynote on or speak on?
Oh, listen, sales and life and personal development, and which is really the same thing. Listen, if you want to be a great salesperson, first be a great person, and then it all fits together.
Well, you are a great person most of the time. Now, is there anything else that we didn't cover? And I'll let you talk a little bit more than 30 seconds this time that you would like to allude to before we wrap this up.
Well, I'm just excited. We've been talking about doing this for probably 4 months, and I'm just excited that you got off the schneid and just went ahead and put it together. And I think a lot of people are like that too. You'll just wait till everything's perfect before you get started, and you kind of never do it. So the first call is always the hardest, but the 10th call is always the easiest. And so just get started and just muscle through. And you never know what happens. You never know what the valley looks like till you get to the end of the cliff. And so just get to the end, and then you can make your decision where you can go. Give it a shot.
You get to the end of the cliff. In some cases, you want to jump off. In some cases, you want to continue the hike. Where can people find more information about you, Dan?
Yeah, you got to, there's this new website. It's called Google, and just pull up Dan Jourdan, and we'll do that. But my main focus, I'm going to start a new YouTube channel of the Gray Hair Blue Collar. And I want to get people into my new school, SKOOL community. And once it's there, we can make a difference in the world.
I want to wrap with this. I'll put the contact information up. One last DJism. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Have you ever used that before?
Yeah, you can use that.
All
Well,
right.
I'm going to steal one of my dad's papa-isms. And he would say, Danny, in this country. And that's how you knew you were on the right track when he was about to give you some good stuff. And he'd say, Danny, in this country, anything's possible. He says, you act like the person you'd like to become. And very soon you'll see that person in the mirror. And so you get to decide who you'd like to become. Just act that way, and people will act that way towards you.
Wise words being spoken from the sales energizer, Dan Jourdan, the deeds you already know. Contact information below. Hey, I look forward to following more of your content and really leaning into that gray hair, blue collar work that you're doing, and plus the other stuff you're doing. I mean, you're coaching, you're training, you're advising, you're helping. You're a good guy. In layman's terms, Dan, thank you for your time.
Let's rock and roll.